Hello guys, welcome back. How is everyone doing? How is your week so far? Welcome to another live stream. Tuesday the 17th of January. January is already halfway through. What do we have in here, right? So how is the market? How is the market open for this week? Are we close to look for reversals or not? Or this is just a small retracement? So basically you had the strong opening on Monday, right? During the Asian session, nothing much to do. After that, there was bank holiday yesterday in the US. Today, price kind of was ranging in here, and now there was retracement, right? So this was the opportunity. Usually, when you have kind of the lows kind of being created, directly from the opening, week open, and when they occur during the Asian session, more often than not, actually price is it's going to go there and retrace during one of those London or US sessions, maybe to provide some opportunity to enter. You can even retest it, can even actually take the low and then and then maybe reverse. So yeah, today when the dollar index retraced to this level, this could have been maybe an opportunity to go long. And are we close or not to maybe look for a reversal? Where is price reacting from on the left side? And the bigger picture, does it make sense to consider a move to the upside from here of yes or no? Yes, so do we get close to this low? This is kind of one of the targets that we were looking for on the higher time frame. This is actually a valid demand zone, if I'm not mistaken, which is a little bit similar to the dollar yen. Yeah, there's maybe even a little bit underneath that price could go to. Now we have that double low, but yes, retesting these lows in here could be a good level for maybe price to go and move higher after all this move to the downside since the middle of end of September, beginning of October. So I think even if you draw Fibonacci, it's something that I don't review, but I think if you actually draw Fibonacci from the lows, I think you are around the 50% retracement. Usually these levels can be quite interesting to see some retracement. In this case, now to the upside. Nevertheless, we are still kind of respecting this level, so there's not exactly an engulf up. That may occur in here, and price can even do that. Price can break to the upside, can break this level to the upside, and then still create a new low to take these lows from here. Yeah, so far this kind of looks like a key M, but price never really broke above this level yet, kind of to create a higher high. So I'm still looking for that higher high to happen, kind of the engulf to happen, and then after that maybe you still have the fake out to occur before maybe any reversal, any proper reversal to occur, right? At this point you are indeed within this range. So yes, so there's a chance that maybe price can go higher, maybe break it through today, and eventually can go down, maybe take these lows and go higher after that, maybe reacting from a little bit more of a zone inside here, or can even take the lows before actually then having a deeper retracement to the upside on dollar index. So yes, that's something that I am paying attention to on dollar index. Yeah, if I do see even more PA, even if I break above these highs, I will definitely be looking for starting to be okay with a move to the upside from where we are. In that point, it's a good level to maybe consider looking for the reversals, but I'm still open-minded with the possibility of actually faking out that low on the left side, and after that, maybe that's when you're going to have the move higher, and maybe the break of this low can actually sign as an engulf to the downside for the future. But before that, we may have the retracement to the upside after that, right? The break of this one, it may actually signal and that price wants to go then further down in the future. However, before that, price can actually retrace. There's maybe something in here. We can even go higher, can even have a proper retracement. Of course, not just in a straight line. Most likely there's going to be some retracements in here. It can even go all the way and take this size and maybe get closer to this level, and after that maybe price can drop. Again. Question mark is going to be, if you do break below this low, where it's going to react to as well. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, there's still a lot of barriers to go through before price actually reaches anything close to here. So that's something on the dollar to look for today. If you haven't noticed, it's basically, yes, the dollar has been moving quite nicely, but in the afternoon it's been the euro, right? The main asset that has been moving in the afternoon. No news. All of a sudden at 3 p.m. some comment about the ECB to maybe hike for 50 basis points in Feb and then 0.25 in March or something like that. The interest rate, right? And we saw the euro index, which was a pair that we actually look at, and there you go, right? So it was reacting from a good level in there on the left side. The supply, it was kind of still a little bit fresh, the extreme. This high never really got there. Initially you have at the below, we actually have this detail in here, so this is a great break of a low engulfing to the downside, and this can start opening the door for the euro to go lower. And then we still have the fake out of this level. Price reacted from somewhere in there, and then we have whatever it happened last week, right? So on the euro index, it was actually a nice move. Yes, as I mentioned so many times, after we break some key level of structure, we are going to have some kind of important level in here that's going to work as a barrier. If you do break below now this level, so initially it was respected, price still went higher, kind of managed to fake out slightly this high still in here, which is a good level. This move in here kind of broke a little bit the structure, but this was the important one to see if it was broken or not. Eventually it was broken in here, right? So this demand zone that still had orders in here, it was being taken in here, and now price went higher and now it broke. Like when it breaks this level, it's usually kind of opening the door to go lower, especially because all this was compressed and kind of the next level of structures maybe somewhere in here, which there was literally space, right? And after that, still you can see all this compression on the euro index. Definitely that I would prefer actually to see price going a little bit higher in there, which can still happen in the future, whenever that may be. I think there's maybe still orders now left behind in there. But for now, it's reacting from this level in here, which is actually in alignment almost with that high that was faked out, right? We can count it a little bit, maybe left shoulder. So that high in here that was basically now taken by these highs. Where are you? Right, this high in here that basically we just faked out. If you just draw that horizontal line, extend it to the right side, it's basically to the people you can find maybe the decision point in alignment with that low, with that high, sorry, which actually had already been respected once. Price went above it, and now there's maybe some decision where actually price turned in there, right? And another point which is quite nice to see as well, as I mentioned, look for that break of a low even before price turning, and we had exactly that, right? So price is in compression, it's kind of breaking here, and what we have in here, compression, and we kind of have this kind of move to downside. We created a little bit of double top in here, something like that. Price then does one more fake out of these highs and the drop, right? So in a little bit in alignment. We're looking at the euro dollar as well. Nice reaction. Euro Aussie a little bit as well. Euro pound and euro yen. Basically all of them just dropping completely to the downside. But yes, all this compression again. If you do pay attention to compression in approach to something, that can lead to a really good reaction, just as it happened in here to the downside. So what's next for the euro index? Yeah, continuation maybe a little bit to the downside. Bigger picture, as I mentioned, I'm paying attention as well to this small engulf that I mentioned in here. This in here can actually be an indication that most likely price is about to actually go a little bit lower, that euro is about to go a little bit lower. Yeah, there may be some kind of a little bit of structure in here, nothing much. Actually, this low, it's already broken these lows in here on the left side. So yes, there's maybe the scenario. Maybe somewhere in here, a little bit of a level where price can retrace a little bit, but maybe can just continue eventually to go lower. Now we have kind of the retest of this low in here, can work out, and eventually, I don't know when, but in here for me there's still maybe some orders. I don't know when price is going to go there or not. But yes, now we may create a little bit of a structure in here to be used in the future to maybe be faked out into this level, and then price go down. Let's see when that's going to happen. But yes, euro index can maybe continue to go to the downside and maybe a little bit with the euro. Something important to pay attention to, and I can actually maybe move on now to the yen, is the meeting that's going to occur overnight, right? This night, the Bank of Japan is going to meet, and there's been a lot of pressure with the yields, right? They raised the cap to 0.5%. It has been actually trading above 0.5%, which is putting a lot of pressure in the Bank of Japan. The inflation as well, the target is 2%, at this point is 4%, has been increasing in the last few months, while inflation in other countries, US, Euro, even in UK, kind of starting to reduce. In Japan, it's just increasing. So this meeting, it's one of the biggest kind of events that everyone is trying to, or is going to pay attention to. It's going to occur overnight, so be careful with any yen positions, but it can even change, right? If they either kind of going to increase the cap, or they may just even, I don't know, stop with this easing. We'll see what the yen is going to do, but that can also have an impact on the dollar, and maybe we can see the dollar going higher after that. Regarding the yen, maybe we can see the yen going to the downside, right? The Bank of Japan started this intervention on the yen all the way back in here, end of September, like 20-something of September. That was the first time. This then was the second, and they had straight away a third one, basically one day after, and they finally managed to turn the yen, right? When the yen was getting weaker and weaker, they finally managed to turn it. It's the opposite on the dollar yen, as I mentioned. Dollar yen was going higher and higher, and they finally managed to turn it in the middle of October, and it has been basically 3 months, October, November, December, January, basically 3 months already, with price just going to the upside, with good moves to the upside. But yes, overnight is going to be an important meeting to overview as well what to expect in 2023 in there. So let's see what decision they're going to do regarding the yen, especially the 10-year bonds. So yeah, now looking at the charts, personally I don't really see anything in particular. So we respected this demand, so we talked about this one last week. Price just moved through the upside, we created a new higher high. We haven't really had any broke of a low at this point. Something in here price can definitely maybe go to. I have this level in here, price maybe taking these highs and going higher. That could be an option, but on the other hand, I don't really have anything in particular for price to go to. Maybe even above this high still. Nothing really stands out to me at this point on this yen index. If you actually pay attention then to, and we're going to on the dollar yen, that's a little bit different. Dollar yen is kind of respecting from a good low on the left side as well in the higher time frame. So that can be a good level to maybe expect price to go higher, which kind of coincides a little bit with this zone in here on this yen index. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen overnight. Yeah, let's see what's going to happen overnight on the yen. Expecting move to the downside, continuation to the upside. It's going to be tricky, but expect some volatility happening. The indices, what do you have in the indices? A little bit continuation to the upside. We have this 4K level in here on the S&P, which has been a strong previous level of resistance working. I have this trend line in here, whatever. We just crossed the 200 moving average on the daily time frame, just spiked above it, and now price kind of is returning in here. So we're without indecision, right? The earnings, it's earning season. Not many news events regarding the dollar this week. Price eventually to continue to go higher. Price can go down first, but I think price eventually is going to continue to move to the upside still. I don't think it has actually reached its final destination. So yeah, this was in here. I think price wants to still continue to move higher. So it's something that I'm kind of looking for, regardless of how many spikes does it have. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Nasdaq a little bit of the same as well, going maybe a little bit higher. Yeah, that's mostly what I'm looking for. Second, is this working properly? Okay, yeah. So today, right? So euro dollar, what we had exactly that, right? Similar to dollar index, it retested the index, retested the lows. Euro dollar retested the highs. It actually was a really good level in there, right? So it created this one overnight on Monday. It reacted and it left this level. It's also aligned with this left shoulder. So it was actually a really good level on the euro, where price actually went and reacted from. It paused a little bit, but all of a sudden, yeah, it caught me out of guard that fast move on the euro. It was a little bit. It literally kind of paused in here, and all of a sudden the move to the downside. So yeah, I could see euro from here. It's reacting from a good level on the left side, so that's okay for me. It's reacting from somewhere in here. Again, I could still see price maybe going a little bit higher and taking these highs from the 6th of April, but for now it's okay. I wouldn't be complaining with where the euro is reacting from, and I could see maybe euro starting to go further down, from here. Can literally kind of do that. I'm okay literally with that. Price kind of already took a little bit this one. There's a potential to eventually retrace a little bit there. Let's see how price is going to behave around these lows in here, euro, because it can literally feel finally and go out and have a good move to the downside. It literally retested the high, it respected it, so now it can be, yeah, it can be free to go further down. Yeah, paying attention in there. We just broke that low in here from last Friday. We took it. That's done. Price kind of is just compressing to the downside. In here, kind of it actually took it on 10-second chart. It took something in there. I did. How are you, man? Ethereum, don't look at Ethereum. Sure. We can look at Ethereum. But yeah, the euro, literally, all this moving here, all this pause, and all of a sudden the drop. I didn't manage to get in. I was looking for price to get there. I don't really like when price just pauses like this. And I was definitely not expecting that fast move. I even paid attention to, sometimes there are news at 3 p.m. There was no news at 3 p.m. and all of a sudden price just dropped. Yeah, let's take a look at Ethereum. We can look at Ethereum. What is your bias? Are you looking for longs, shorts? What are you looking for on Ethereum? Just delete this. Oh my god. What do we have in here? BTC, we already took this high, right? On Ethereum, we haven't really taken the high. Let's see if it's just the one thing. Go get one thing in here. Ethereum is BTC, and 6th of September is reacting from that level. Ethereum on the 6th of September, it's reacting from here. Okay, BTC actually reacted from there. Ethereum is reacting from here. Fair enough. And this one is reacting from the base of this. Okay, BTC is reacting from. BTC is reacting nowhere near close that level, right? Yeah, nowhere near close that high. There's a little bit more room to the upside on BTC, which is kind of leading at this point. So Ethereum hasn't broken this this high, but Ethereum this high had actually already reacted from somewhere close to that level. BTC, there's literally a gap still to be filled, which eventually I believe is going to be filled in there. Now when you break such a high like this, there's a chance that you can have a little bit of a retracement before that. All this strong compression in here, a lot of spikes going on in there. So yeah, bigger picture. Let's actually take a look at Ethereum. You're looking for longs, yeah. I'm doing good as well, man. Thanks. Where from? Where are you from? Where are you looking for longs from? It's with so strong spikes or so big spikes, like it's even weird to trade unless you literally are looking for 1 minute time frame or 5 minutes time frame to look for opportunities. I don't like at all anything that is created with this spike in here. Yes, we definitely have this level all the way back there. If we start following any single demand after we created this low, touch, this one in here kind of was touching there. This one has already been touching here. This price already breaking new highs in there. Yeah, it kind of took the high, so it's kind of moving higher as well. Yeah, compression. It's a little bit tricky, honestly. Yep, it's a little bit tricky. There's nothing much. Like we are maybe in between the range of this low, and if you drew it would be amazing, and this high. Yeah, on the way up it was nice. This level in here kind of is still left behind eventually if price does want to go there, but now kind of the momentum is literally to the upside. Price is reacting from literally the extreme in here. Is this on 4-hour time frame or 1 hour time frame? Is it still fresh or not? Yeah, it was this level in here, right? This small thing in here above this high. That's kind of where price went to. Aside from that, basically everything has been taken as well. So there's nothing much going on in here. So yeah. Where can you look for? Unless you are looking into really small time frames, yeah, there's nothing much to talk about this. There's really nothing much to talk about this. Yes, bigger picture, looking more for continuation to the upside. Price went all the way to respect this level. I could even wait for price to respect that level. Price never reacted from there. After all this move to the upside, like this break of the high in here, and even we had a little bit already break of the high, that was literally a good indication that price wanted to go higher. That happened already, and then we had all this big rally. Now price is reacting literally from here. It reaches one of these first targets, which will be this level. There's literally more room to go to the upside if you do take this high. So yes, maybe building up a little bit to get there. There's maybe something in here to look for if price just wants to go and retrace a little bit more. So yeah, bigger picture. yeah, even in terms of space, yes, after we break this level, we could look for price to fill all this in there. This level is already being spiked in there, so maybe something in here could have been, and then eventually the other extreme. So yeah. Now I don't really know what to do with this. We're looking for one at around 1608-ish for that high. Maybe you want to say 1500. Ah, okay, no, the target is the 680. Okay. Yeah, looking for ones from here, right? Yeah, well, I'm not the biggest fan to look for longs when we are so close to the high. It's kind of, you are selling at expensive prices. I prefer to, no, you are buying it at the expensive prices. I prefer to buy at cheap prices, not at expensive. In this case, it's looking at where price is reacting from. Yeah, price can literally, if you find a good opportunity, maybe price will continue in this kind of compression, eventually create momentum and break the high. That can happen. So maybe wait for some kind of retracement close to these levels, or just wait a little bit even longer if price does want to retrace a little bit further down to try to join. Yeah. Yep. Now it's a little bit tricky. Bitcoin. Is there anything different on Bitcoin going on in the short term? Bitcoin already spiked the high. Yeah, it spiked the high. This is kind of one of the limits in here. This will be the other zone in there as well. So yeah, maybe eventually, if price would go there, it would be maybe nice. Prices continue to go a little bit higher, then maybe go take out these lows, react from there, and then just continues to go to the upside. That could be interesting. Yep. Yeah, nothing much to say, honestly. Sorry, man, nothing much to say with this kind of moves and getting so close to that, to those highs in there. Yeah, nothing much. Yeah, looking at the pound, as we have been saying and talking, price finally kind of filled the space between this high and the next level of structure, which is somewhere in there. Even yesterday high kind of touched a little bit. Today high, it's also reacting maybe even better to the level in there. There's even the potential for price to go and take this level in there. But for now, again, I'm kind of okay, since we finally filled the range of the space that was between this high and there after all this compression that we talked about in here on the pound. Today, price which we just, even though we kind of broke a little bit this low, which can mean something for the future, but price actually had just reacted from this level in here, this demand zone. I think on 1 hour time frame, it's even a better zone. Yeah, just kind of this week in here on 4 hour, whatever it may be, and price is moving higher. So yeah, but this one actually can actually be a good sign for the future. Or in terms of looking for maybe some reversals on the pound, price could actually reverse from here, and then with the extreme for the future as well, kind of. So this level, I'm still looking for it, right? I'm still tempting to wait for price to get there, but maybe in here it could kind of reverse, maybe take this low and then maybe go higher, and then finally do the final move somewhere in there and drop from there, right? This could be something interesting too that could occur on the pound, or maybe go all the way down in here, take now this demand zone from here, go take it, respect this level, and go higher again. So yeah, let it build up this compression, It's just to try to find out where it's going to maybe react from. The move today, again, all this compression here, this is not my type of, or my favorite kind of price behavior when price creates a high or a high. This looks like it has been already completely spiked on the way down, so maybe we can actually going to create new highs in here. Another detail, yes, we do break below this, we broke this low in here. So yeah, so yes, maybe new highs, since this is how price is moving away from this level. But yes, we're starting to create a little bit of highs, some highs in here that can literally be used as fake outs. We are creating all these ones in here. So yeah, there's a chance that, and I'm okay with it, to be honest. We did broke below all these lows. As I mentioned, this can be seen as an engulf to the upside, but price maybe it's going to want to retrace. And personally, I'm really targeting this high. I'm really targeting this level in here, for price to take it and then go down. But there is still this level in here, kind of price is getting close to that level. In here, price could actually be retraced, as I mentioned, with maybe looking for that level in the future, the level at the highs. So yeah, I mean, kind of enjoying. We actually took a little bit these lows, even though we never took the demand in here. But at the same time, we already took these lows, which is actually important. Yeah, it can give a sign for the future in either way, but this level is still there fresh, so it holds price to go higher. That's kind of how price moves, right? Price needs to break lows to start giving indication. But if the extreme itself, it was still fresh, it can hold price. And in the moment, there's no need to look for shorts in here because there's no engulf to the downside. But in the bigger picture, yes, in the bigger picture, we actually managed to break this low. It may be a little bit complex, but the way I'm explaining, but it actually makes sense. So yeah, on the pound, that can be an interesting level. On the Aussie, I actually am happy as well with the Aussie. I think we talked about during the stream, right? There was this higher high in here where the Aussie was kind of still reacting from, and we talked about that level, right? We talked about we talked about price going above that high into the supply that was in there, right? Above this always compression, but there was this still fresh supply in there just above it, which could literally be reacted from, and then price could retrace from there. So we'll see. We had that happening overnight again during the Monday overnight when price opened for the weekend. There's maybe still something in there that I will definitely be looking for shorts. We managed to break a little bit this high in here. We kind of reacted now to the extreme of this level in here, so we never really broke this low. But I do like the approach that we are having. Now this level we kind of reacting from here. I'm still looking for price to go a little bit higher. Let's see if that happens. I'm enjoying this compression. It's actually a good move in here. Yeah, I'll be looking for price to get closer to this level in here, and then I'm going to be looking for shorts. Yeah, I'm going to try to attempt to look for shorts when price does get there. I do like it where it's reacting on the left side, so the approach so far it looks nice. And you could see today it was quite a weird move. We can even look at the pound just like we did, or even at the Aussie. So we saw dollar kind of going higher, we saw euro going down, so euro Aussie was actually going down, and we kind of having these strong range prices on the Aussie. The same a little bit on the pound, right? The way pound was going down today, it was kind of super compressed, kind of forced move. There was not exactly momentum going on in there. As you can see, kind of super strong, like super compressed, because we had euro pound completely dropping through, and then we had kind of Aussie, it was literally a battle for the pound, for the Aussie as well. Opposite, for example, we look at euro Aussie, the way price just dropped, the way just price dropped on the euro pound, and the way that just price dropped on the euro yen, and so on. So all the euros basically moving in a strong move to the downside. And now, yes, now euro Aussie kind of reached this level in here. This is an engulf to the upside. So let's see if price does go up from there or not. But on the other hand, it's actually going to go to the downside in the bigger picture. I was looking for price to get closer to this level in here on the Euro Aussie. Never really got there. Today still respected even this high. So yeah, looking a little bit more on the Aussie to the upside, and then definitely looking for ourselves. And this is the biggest elephant in the room for this week. Dollar yen. Again, be careful what's going on overnight tonight. Yeah, price is reacting from finally it reached these lows, as we talked about last week, that there was a high chance that these lows in here wouldn't be the level to hold price up. Price actually most likely would go all the way here. Is a daily demand or a weekly demand as well, that price can actually respect. Again, a little bit similar to the dollar index, I'm even open to the possibility that actually we're going to maybe fake out this low first before maybe turning. Price is approaching important levels of previous resistance that can kind of hold price to the upside now, just when you are about to have this big news, right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Price is literally kind of moving down. We had last week, yes, we did broke the high, not last week, 2 weeks ago actually, during the NFP. We did broke this high, which can be seen a little bit of a potential zone of reversal, but not yet. Actually broke a little bit this one as well. I've been looking for price to get closer to this level and then look for a short. That hasn't happened yet, so no setup for me. Price just respected this supply at this point. So yeah, there's maybe something in here at these lows that can be used, or even a little bit underneath. I think we talked about 1 to 710, 1 to 710, something like that. 1 to 7.3, yeah, 1 to 7.10. I think it's 1 to 7.10. Where is 1 to 7.10? Where they talk about that level? Yeah, maybe something somewhere in there. Yes, somewhere in there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the yen is going to do on the daily or even 4 hour. Yeah, on the daily it didn't even manage to break this level, so we respected the previous daily candle on the 13th last Friday, and we never really managed to break it, so we are kind of in between ranges in here. So yeah, not exactly a proper engulf up yet on the end, but we are having a little bit of a move, so literally almost all this in here. Price breaks above it, the price can actually go higher. Getting a little bit from this level. Yeah, paying attention to this. But yes, on the end, we finally kind of are reacting from a good level, opposite to the lows from last week. Yeah, or 2 weeks ago, like this was. Now, okay, we reached a zone that could potentially push price to the upside. CAD, what we have on the CAD. CAD is reacting from an important low as well, so price is starting to actually react some good levels. Again, not exactly in here last week as we mentioned. I want to see price going a little bit lower. This is a good demand level, can be seen on the 4 hour daily time frame. I'm still eventually looking for price to go below this level in here, price to go down in there, but this level is actually good. And what price could actually do is kind of look like it's working, maybe just even to attract liquidity more in here, goes, pretend that it's working, and then eventually maybe can have that final fake out of even with these lows, and then maybe price could go higher after that. We did have a little bit of a break to the upside in here of these highs. This can start to mean something as well on the CAD, so we'll see. But after that, it's still within this range. But yes, this was a valid point. We have this wick in here, never really got to the demand zone, so yes, there was still fresh orders in there. Let's see if we manage to break again for the second time this high, and this could make it a little bit look like more bullish. Even if we kind of go all the way down in here, I mentioned that maybe look like more bullish if you do manage to break this high once again. Yep. Yeah, let's see if that's going to happen. On the other hand, literally CAD has been going in this move to the downside. There's even the chance that we can just continue to do this, right? We have a lower low, we have a lower high, and then we can maybe even create a new lower low in here. But let's see how that plays out on the cut. Yes, and then dollar franc Swiss, it finally retraced all the way back to the lows. Again, I've been bullish on the dollar franc Swiss since we kind of broke this low. This was kind of a double low. That's maybe not exactly a proper engulf to the upside yet. Kind of broke a little bit this level. This level in here managed to break this high, but we reacted straight away from this supply level. So there's still it's a little bit tricky. There's not exactly a proper break up, but for now, yes, maybe we just took this double low in there. We are still reacting from this level. There's a lot of compression going on in here. Yeah, we can maybe go higher from where we are. Now I was trying to find out as well underneath this level if there was something. There's maybe another zone a little bit in there. Then you have this double low, and price can actually go down and maybe react from somewhere in here, right? Now by breaking this low, we kind of enter into this compression that this may be the beginning of that compression. But yes, price doesn't need to feel the compression straight away. Price can actually kind of break into the compression, go higher, and will actually go much higher. And just after that, we can maybe look for the bigger sell opportunity. That's my wishful thought for the dollar franc Swiss. Looking at this break of this low as an engulf to downside. However, in the short mid term, actually looking for price to maybe go higher before actually then eventually going down and filling out that space. And that was kind of created maybe all the way until somewhere in there. So that's my that's what I hope maybe that happened. That may not even happen. The price maybe just continue to go down and to carry on to the downside. But yeah, nicely price finally took this low. I was expecting already price to take these lows even when you had this moving here, so I wanted already to see price doing something like this. That was my prediction. Price never did that. Price actually just respected kind of the demand zone that was in here. This was already an engulf upwards. So yeah, apparently it left its orders for now. Price just took them. So yeah, maybe we can even use these left shoulders in here again. My drawing today is amazing. Yep, can go there, maybe break a little bit above, can retest one more time, and then maybe go higher. Yeah, kind of the dollar franc Swiss and the euro kind of reacting from that level in there. Gold is another one that is reacting from a really good level. Gold hasn't reached the highs. It's respecting at this point all this mid level in here. Even today there was maybe a good opportunity, especially after we kind of broke this low in here, targeting maybe these lows in there. So this was an engulf to the downside, and this is a really nice KM zone in there. Yeah, price just took this one. I was looking for price to go a little bit higher for the sell. Price just stopped in there. Yes, as I mentioned, gold is reacting from an interesting zone. It finally, as I mentioned last week and quite a few times, I was looking for price to actually approach this high in here and to take this high altogether. This was basically everything compressed all the way down. And yes, we finally got there. This is a high visible on the daily, on the weekly, not sure if even on the monthly, 4-hour time frame as well. And finally price now is reacting from some level in here. It's actually a good level somewhere in there. Now, is this the final destination for gold? Does gold want to go higher? Well, most likely price and gold does want to still continue to go higher. But after taking such an important high that is visible in here, reacting from a good level, this is actually kind of the demand zone in here. This is actually, this is actually the demand zone in here that actually made this strong push to the upside. So it looks like a little bit interesting. Can be work as well in for the future in the opposite side. So yeah, key levels on gold, something in here can work out. If you do break below this level, maybe targeting all the way in here and even the potential of coming in here. If this is still fresh, just retesting the top of this level, taking these lows in here, and then yes, then maybe you can continue to the upside. You can also look at this break of this high actually as an engulf to the upside, as saying that price wants to go a little bit higher, maybe retesting this level, even go a little bit higher. But again, in the short term, after taking such an important high, that's actually a good moment to maybe look for a reversal, for price to try, since this is a daily high, for example, and that's why kind of looking for these daily highs or weekly highs. Maybe the target, it could be the next daily, maybe demand zone, or kind of the next level of support resistance in the daily time frame. Like for example, yes, targeting this daily low can be important. Targeting maybe somewhere in here with this wick in here can be also something interesting. Or if price has been already compressed all the way down, maybe even target this level in here, right? And there's been a lot of spikes in there. This was with the CPI and so on and so forth. So yeah, you can see how many spikes there have been somewhere in here. And yes, targeting this demand zone can be something interesting. Now, as I mentioned, there's still maybe a little bit of orders somewhere in there. Price at this point has been just respecting this level in between. Therefore, maybe can even break this zone in there, can eventually maybe do some kind of retracement, making it look like this zone is being respected. This middle range created in there can go to the extreme now of this level and then drop afterwards. So there's maybe that in place as well to be traded, which is nice. And maybe even the extreme in here as well. But in here now I'll be a little bit more cautious in there. This was kind of the sell opportunity for this setup, right? We have this beautiful EM in there. Yeah, targeting maybe somewhere in here. Be careful with this level as well in there. So yeah, gold again, another one that is kind of reacting from a good level. Again, still potential to go higher, but based on what we just took on the left side, those highs can be interesting. And yeah, that's basically it for me in terms of looking at these opportunities and what I'm looking for. So I do like mostly where price kind of is reacting. There's maybe a little bit more room to the upside. On the Aussie, kind of like it. On gold, kind of like it. Euro, price had already taken, kind of respected that level top in there. Doesn't really need to go much higher. Can maybe, if it does create a little bit of a structure, and now if price does retrace a little bit and we manage to create a new low from that level, I think the high can be considered maybe for the next few days. If not, if price just goes, maybe come all the way back here and maybe just continues to go higher, maybe then we can have maybe that fake out happening once again of these highs, right? So can you see the difference between euro and gold? So euro, it was also respecting from this middle range, but gold actually managed to go to the downside and break below this kind of the low that was holding this middle range. And this actually looks a little bit better eventually for price to now retest to the upside and to turn. While on the euro, yes, on the euro, actually we never really had this break below this level. Meanwhile, actually price still managed to respect the highs, but yeah, managed to fake out all this in here. Yeah, I actually prefer to see a little bit more this kind of pattern, right, and then kind of go down, being this high in here, kind of that middle range that I talked about, and that kind of it looks like on gold. I mean, here you don't really have this final low in there. So yeah, we'll see what's going to happen in here. Yeah, that's it basically. Pound yen as well, interesting to see. Euro yen coming out the back in here, just feel all this compression. We actually broke to the upside, so this is actually an engulf up. From what I see in here, we had this high and you kind of took it just before the break, so this could mean something. Again, when you are trying to find out a direction with When there are big news events about covering a certain pair currency, in this case the yen, any single clue that you can collect can be important. Doesn't need just to be on the major maybe currency pair, dollar yen in this case, can actually be in the other pair, yen pairs as well. So maybe you can collect some information from the euro yen, from the pound yen, from the Aussie yen, and any other yen pair. It can maybe help you to have the correct bias of what's about to happen with the news. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on Saturday. Good luck with the rest of your week. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I appreciate everyone that watches the streams, so thank you. I'll see you next time. Obrigado.